The MotoGP series has been the go-to simulation for two-wheeled racing fans for over a decade now, with yearly entries fine-tuning its blend of realism, strategy, and raw speed. Developed by Milestone, it aims to recreate the thrills of professional motorcycle racing with meticulous physics and an eye for the detail that appeals to the most die-hard racing fans. Now, while I've spent plenty of time with racing games on the Switch and other consoles, from Grid Autosport to Forza Motorsports, I've never actually played a MotoGP title until now. This means I'm coming at this year's edition with absolutely no idea about motorbikes or the series in general. What's it like? Put on your helmet, check in with your engineers, and do the throttle thingy as we review MotoGP 25 on Nintendo Switch. MotoGP 25 offers plenty of game modes right off the starting line, with the standout being Career Mode. Here, you can choose to compete in one of three real-world racing classes that are Moto2, Moto3, and MotoGP bikes, each offering a slightly different speed and handling profile. What surprised me most is how much this actually feels like a real career. Progression is built around full racing weekends, complete with free practice sessions, 2 rounds of qualifying, and then the main event. Now, you're free to skip straight to the big race if you want, but I appreciated having the full timeline and structure there for when I wanted the full sim experience. There's even more depth off track because you can talk to your engineer after a race to fine tune your setup, choose from 3 different career paths which are development, rivalry, or prestige that offer different incentives, and enjoy small but immersive cutscenes before and after races. Occasionally, you'll break out of the usual routine with events like motard, mini bikes, or flat track challenges, and these are introduced with light-hearted clips of your character joking around or having some banter with other riders, and it seems like such a small detail, but it's one that adds real warmth and personality to the season. As someone new to the MotoGP series, I was genuinely impressed by how flexible this version is. There's an incredible amount of control over settings, assists, and bike handling. Whether you're chasing the perfect sim or you just want something closer to Grid Autosport with bikes, MotoGP 25 lets you tailor that experience. The addition of adaptive difficulty is a nice touch as well, keeping races competitive even if you're still getting used to the handling. Thanks to these options, I never really felt overwhelmed, and in fact, I got hooked pretty quickly. Though I'll admit I did start skipping qualifying and driving straight to the main event each race, just to keep the pace up. Handling bikes also takes a different mindset than cars, and MotoGP 25 makes that very clear early on. Brake too hard around a corner? Crash. Try to flick from left to right too fast? Crash. But once I started getting used to the physics and learning the rhythm, I began to feel like I was actually riding a motorbike, even if I stayed safely within the arcade settings for most of my time. Given the Switch's limitations, MotoGP 25 does an impressive job of presenting a sharp, clean racing experience. The bikes themselves are a highlight, with detailed models, visible sponsorship decals, and a real sense of speed. The faces of your pit crew are a little rough around the edges, but beyond that, the game holds up really well visually, especially for a late-gen Switch release. Tracks offer a good amount of variety, although the environments around them can feel a little bland. Still, the layout of the trackside details are clear and readable at high speeds, which is what matters most. Whether in docked or handheld mode, the game runs fairly consistently with no major compromises between the two. Weather effects like rain can add a welcome layer of challenge, and the engine handles them capably. A few rainy weekends during the career mode may not have tanked the performance of the game, although it did tank my ranking, which was a pleasant surprise. Cutscenes in the career mode, while simple, did help make it feel a little bit more than just a menu-driven experience. and while they're not overly flashy, they did give the game a bit of personality, which I really liked. Performance-wise, the game runs mostly at a smooth frame rate. I did notice a few hiccups when crashing during the race, and I did encounter one hard crash to the home screen, but otherwise, it's a polished and stable port. Load times are a little on the long side, especially before events, but it's a trade-off I didn't mind given how smoothly everything runs once you're on the track. There's a lot to dig into with MotoGP 25, and the star of the show is definitely the career mode. I did try a few quick races with different bikes to see how they felt. I just kept getting pulled back into the main event. The structure of the race weekends, engineer feedback, and mid-season events made the mode feel alive, and it wasn't just an arbitrary list of races. Outside of the career, you do have your quick races, time trials, and multiplayer, so there's something for every playstyle. But what really stood out to me was just how replayable the game feels, thanks to the sheer amount of customization. Whether you're adjusting difficulty, assist, bike behavior, you can just really shape your experience into something that suits your skill level, or even push yourself once you're ready. Within the career mode, I really liked the path system, which let you choose between development, rivalry, or prestige, and it gave you something to aim for beyond just placing first. These goals came with small boosts or changes that add flavour to your progression, and it helped me stay invested. Customization also extends to your bike setup, and after each race you can check in with your engineer to fine-tune how it handles. By the time you've reached the MotoGP class, those options expand even further with more precise adjustments. Thankfully, none of it really feels overwhelming because it's as deep as you want it to be, and you're never punished for letting the game do some of the heavy lifting. MotoGP 25 also includes a rewind feature, which is now a staple in modern races, but it lets you instantly undo mistakes without penalty, and trust me, if you're new like I am, you'll make plenty of mistakes. It's a welcome tool for new players and a great way to experiment and learn without having to restart the entire race. The only real omission from the Switch versions is crossplay, and that doesn't really make or break it, but it's worth knowing if you are hoping to race friends on different platforms. For my riders looking into accessibility, MotoGP 25 includes one of the most robust accessibility suites I've seen in a racing game, especially on the Switch. Players can scale subtitle size, remap nearly every control, and even apply a tinnitus reducing filter, or fine-tune the sound isolation. From engine noise to crowd volume, over 10 dynamic sound sources can be adjusted individually, which is an incredible level of detail. On the visual side, there are options to disable motion blur, toggle individual HUD elements, and apply colorblind filters with adjustable intensity. You can even enable one-handed controls, which I thought was a really thoughtful touch, and it makes the game more welcoming to a much broader audience. All of these tools are seamlessly integrated and easy to find, giving players the power to tailor the experience without sacrificing the feel of the sport. It's genuinely impressive, and credit where credit is due, Milestone have really shaped MotoGP 25 to be customized to many different riders' needs and abilities. As someone completely new to MotoGP, I wasn't sure what to expect, but MotoGP 25 surprised me in the best ways. It's a deep and rewarding racer which makes the world of professional motorcycle racing feel approachable without watering it down. The career mode alone had me hooked, while the customization and accessibility features made me feel like this game was just built for everyone. If you've never touched the series before, this is a great place to start, and if you're already a fan, you'll likely appreciate just how much care Milestone have put into making MotoGP 25 feel like the full package. So, what's it like? MotoGP 25 is like Grid Autosport, except with motorbikes. I award it an 86 out of 100. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out what'sitlike.com.au.